Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bumbershoot, where we're covering life's chaos with humor and heart. And guess what? I'm in Italy. I'm actually down in Sicily, the little island off the toe of Italy. And today, I have a very special guest. I get emotional every time. I have our daughter, Mimi.
Hello, everybody.
So you've heard about Mimi. We've talked about Mimi in a few episodes, but I did tell the story of how I thought Mimi found out about everything. And so today I was like, hey, let's set the record straight. And you can tell everyone exactly what it was like when you first found out about me, and then what our relationship was like, and then when Dad told you that we were having a baby, but didn't tell you we were married yet, and all of that. And then we'll just find out. So we're going to go through all that. But first, tell us a little bit about you and what you do today.
Hello, everybody, once again. Well, I'm Mimi, as you all know. What do I do? I'm a mother, first of all. And then I do run the Italian business that we have in Donna Lucata. So I take care of our boutique hotel or beach resort here in Donna Lucata about 7 months a year. And the rest I stay home. I have Ivan, which is my companion.
Significant other, the father of your children.
And then I have my son, my first son, which is Carlo, as you all probably know. And we have a 7-month-old Alessandro that arrived the 9th of September of 2024.
Yes, and she's a fantastic mother and has 2 adorable little boys. They call me grandma because I am the American grandma. So their grandmas here in Italy are called nonna, and I grandma. So I get to be a bonus grandma very young.
Grandma Cha-Cha.
Yeah, Grandma Cha-Cha, because Mimi calls me Cha. So Mimi, take us back to when you first met me. How old were you?
I was about 13, I believe.
I think so.
I was 12, 13. How did I meet you? It was quite weird, just because I think my father has not, he was not feeling comfortable of telling me that he had another woman in his life. And I would say that the path was very, very easy. And everything was very smooth just because charity made it smooth. My father, I think, was a little bit ashamed. That's why I never found out that they got married, because he didn't want me to overreact or not be happy about it. Yeah. And I always say one thing about Charity when I met her is that we were living in a complex, in an apartment building. And that year, I think for Christmas, Dad got me a ticket for Hawaii, and she did not come with us. She made all this trip possible just to spend some time with me and my father and not get involved. So like our relationship was just me and him, and she was just extra sometimes. So she came into my life very... Gradually, exactly. And that made it... exactly. Because, I was a 13-year-old girl.
Very attached to your mom and
exactly.
Dad.
Living in Italy, so a close-minded world, which probably my mom was the only divorced woman in my hometown, Piazza Armerina. So that was
it's very sensitive there, yeah.
But, once again, you made it very, very easy to go through.
I attribute that to my mom.
That's true.
Because she sets a very good example. She's been on both sides. Well, I've been on both sides with her. And so the way that my relationship is with Cami and Nicole, and the way that my relationship is with Kelsey, but my mom was the one that orchestrated it and set the bar very high.
Well, good example bring you to good you to good things in life. So if you had her as an example, that's
well, and I had been on both sides. I had been the daughter with my 2 parents, and then I became a stepdaughter.
True.
And so I also learned from Jeff as well, who just totally took me in and loved me like his own. So That was very important to me. But at the time, I didn't know it was forever.
True.
At the time, it was like, okay, I'm the first girlfriend that she's meeting. And when you went to
Probably
Hawaii,
you were the only official girlfriend in general.
yeah, probably official. But then you went to Hawaii, and when you came back, I was like, let's make a scrapbook together. And that was kind of where we bonded, right?
Yes, I totally remember, and I still have it at my mom's house, that scrapbook.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I do save things.
Cute. Yeah, and you have the memory of an elephant. You remember everything.
Oh, I do.
I can't remember anything. If I want to remember something, I'm like, me. Remind me, and she can name exactly when, where, how, why, everything. Very good memory. And then from there, what happened next?
I went back. Well, first of all, you took me to a restaurant and you told me everything about your life.
Oh, that was another trip, though.
It was another trip?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was when you brought.
But was Luca already?
He was born already.
Okay.
Look at me remembering, and
Exactly, because I was like,
No, remember when your girlfriend came,
Elisa,
when she came, because I told you with her at the restaurant.
we were together?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do remember that.
I remember the
because-
restaurant. It was at the mall, across the mall, TJ Fridays.
Yep. But I think what's significant is that I was sharing with Mimi my story of that I've been married 2 other times, and it was something that her dad never wanted her to know, and I'm like,
No, because you remember you told me if you have to get to know me, I want you to know me completely for
Exactly.
who I am, but especially who I was
right.
before Dad.
Yes.
Whatever made me love you more, other than Dad and everything that was around, is every single time I look at Luca and Logan, and now I'm gonna be crying.
I know, we're both gonna cry.
And I see the way they respect me and love me, that makes me love you more because you did a great job on them to me. Like, however they treat me, it's thanks to you because I was always the faraway daughter of the first marriage. So that's not easy, because especially so when you're so far away that you don't get to see each other constantly.
Right.
And that helped me a lot with my relationship with them when I moved to America. That I still remember that I probably said no 2 times in 8 years in America to Logan and Luca for, I don't know, remember for what. But they took that no serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was their sister, their actual sister, telling them no.
Yeah.
So,
And I
that
talked
made me-
about that, your L on your wrist.
yes, I do have a tattoo of Logan and Luca on my wrist.
When did you get that? Oh.
I think it was right after Logan was born. I was barely 18.
Yeah, that's what I think you were, about 18.
Because you came with Logan when he was 6, 7 months old.
Yeah.
In Italy, but my mom didn't want me to get tattoos, and so I had to get away with it. But it's an L.
But let's look at Logan. And then, so take us back a little bit to when you found out that we were going to have a baby. When you found out about
I was
Luca.
happy, like
That's what Dad said.
probably one of the best moments of my life.
And why do you think? Because you were excited to have a sibling, or because
I was happy with the whole picture. Like, I was happy with you. I was happy with Dad. I had another woman that was, in that case, you, not just another woman. And then I was happy to not be by myself, because that's the reason Carlo today has Alessandro, that sisters and brothers are always there. Like, whenever our parents won't be there anymore in 10,000 years, let's say
hopefully.
that. Yes. I will always have Logan and Luca. So that's why I was happy. And I was just happy with the whole situation. So,
I was
and then Luca,
pleasantly surprised.
Luca was the king.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he was.
Because I do listen to all the podcasts. I always tell Charity on my way back, because I drive every morning to work. On my way back, I always listen to the podcast. So I always.
But I
listen
didn't
to
know
all
that for a while.
Yes.
I didn't know it till like the 20th episode or something. And when she said it, I went, "Oh, Mimi listens."
I do listen.
And then when Dad was critiquing, he was like, "Yeah, Mimi and I, you're all over the place." I said, "Well, have you met me? That's how I am. This
It's
podcast reflects who I am and how I am, and I'm all over the place. That's how I roll. I forget something, I remember something." And I explained to Dad and shared, it was like, it's not for everybody, but the people that listen to it,
They do.
they're following a journey and a story, and it's something that we're going to get to a place where it's going to look a little different. But for now, I'm excited to start with Mimi, our oldest, and then we'll have Luca next week and Logan the week after. I will be recording Logan while I'm here in Italy because he's here,
Yes.
and it's easier than calling. I can do it here. I can record like a phone call.
Oh.
But I think it's better this way when you're face to face, So anyways, okay, so you were excited, and then when Luca was born, the story of the limo, I love the story. Like you did
We waited for about 45 minutes outside. It was November. It was cold in Los Angeles. I do remember. And my phone was not working. So I find this lady and I said, "Can I call my father?" And she said, "Yes." So she gives me a call. And Dad always been late. We lost many planes. It's the story of our life, not my life, our life. So I call him and he says, we're here, we're getting. So this limo pulls by and I looked at my grandma and I was like, for sure it's not us. Like, why should they come with the limo or no?
Because at the time,
and the
Dad
door
didn't
opens.
have
Yes,
the success.
it wasn't the best time of everything. So the door opens and I see this little thing inside of the car seat, and he was just the best thing. Like we cried and we laughed and we were just happy, and he was
cute. And
he was amazing.
And she literally fell in love like instantly. And
Yeah, Luca is Luca. Like Luca is the king, and then we got to love more Logan when he arrived, which he's a pain in the booty, I always say. Like he's super sarcastic. Luke is a little bit more reserved and introvert, you say?
Introverted a little less extroverted, I would say, because he's not really an introvert. He's less extroverted. He's more he's on his terms, which reminds me a lot of Dad, because Dad,
when he's in
makes
his comfort
people think
zone,
he's Mr. Outgoing, but only in his place.
True. It's completely
Logan's
true.
a little more outside of his own place, but Luca
going back
is.
on the marriage,
Oh yes,
we talked about it, and I think I sent you a WhatsApp message on that, and I said,
you
Charity,
confirmed.
I found out, I think there was a picture on the wall
Of our wedding,
of your wedding certificate or your wedding picture.
maybe a picture.
Yes.
I don't even know.
There was and that made me figure out they got married, which I was totally okay, but with everything, of course. But the problem was my dad, because he didn't want to hurt my feelings.
Yes, exactly.
So it was all and just about that. But
Which is so weird to me, because I was always raised like you get married and then you have a baby. So to me, I feel like it would have hurt my feelings more if you got pregnant first and then got married as my parent. But yeah, anyways, I'm happy. However it worked out, you were happy, I'm happy.
and it worked out great.
It worked out perfect. He knew what to do. Okay, am I right though that he told you when he gave you the Vespa and you went on a ride on the Vespa, or no?
Of what? Of
When
the
he
marriage?
told you about the baby.
It was taboo,
No.
Charity, for all our life. I think us today.
No, the baby.
Oh, the baby. We were on a Vespa. Yes.
You were on a Vespa,
and I
right?
think he was, I don't know how to say, he
Anxious.
was anxious, and he didn't know how to tell me, so he was trying to figure out the right second, and his words would not come out. So probably was the Vespa, because I think he chose the Vespa because I was not looking into his eyes, because I was sitting in the back and holding him from his belly.
And he's looking behind his shoulder.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, once again, everything was just
fine.
perfect. So
And your mom plays a big part in all of us getting along and it being a very beautiful relationship.
yes, because
she's
obviously
been
the most
supportive.
influence, it was from her, because
Yes.
I was 13-year-old.
Yeah.
What did I know about everything?
Yeah. And she could have done a lot of damage if she wanted to.
Exactly.
But she chose to be selfless, and that's another honorary thing from her, is that she made it easier and beautiful. And so
Exactly.
I'm very grateful to her for that.
And I remember also Luca one afternoon stayed with my mom
Yeah.
and me
She would.
at our house. I do remember that. And Luca was probably, I don't know, he was 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah.
One of the trips, but he was still a baby.
He was still young, yeah. Well, and it's been always like one family.
It's been always easy.
Yeah, like every
Even though there were
holiday
both of them, they were very young, so it could have been most negative impact instead of
exactly.
positive things, because they had me when they're 17 and 18. So what did they know about life?
Right.
Nothing. So all this comes from grandparents.
Exactly.
So going back.
And going back. We went forward to go back. But also your mom's family, too, has been gracious and loving and just embracing. And so it takes all of us, you know? And I think it's a big message because there's a lot of families that come together and the parents use the kids against their exes.
Correct.
And the children become victims of this animosity and jealousy and all these things.
I do have a lot of close friends or close family members that reflect in a negative way, so things get more conflict instead of being just smooth and easy for the child. It's an how do you say egoistic?
It's egotistical,
yeah, because when you get mad,
it's very selfish. It's selfish parents that don't consider the child and what they have to go through. So if you think about we know, you and I both know, it's not easy being in a divorced family. You split holiday, you split vacation.
Correct.
You have to choose.
It's not easy when you're far away.
Yeah.
That whenever I would come to America, I was always scared I would feel the extra one, the plus one. And that never felt me feel like that. I never felt I was different from the others. We were always one family. I wasn't the daughter living in Italy and having my life, and then my dad had to deal with me for 2 months a year.
No,
that never happened.
We didn't had to deal with you. We got to have you, and it was never enough. And then you got to live there for 5 years, which was fun to have.
It was a little bit more than that.
Oh, 6? Yeah. How many?
It was almost 7.
Oh, almost 7.
It was 7 years, not in America. It was in 7 years inside of Gourmet Italia, which is different. It was different.
So Mimi tried her hand at America. Well, you tried once in school, and then that
I tried in school,
stick.
and I knew it was not going to be a pharmacist. And
No,
I wanted.
Well, I mean, in high school.
I tried it. Yes, sorry. I tried in high school. That didn't work out because probably I was in a vulnerable situation.
Yeah, it was hard.
It was not the right moment for me.
And she speaks amazing English, and she knows English incredibly well. But when you go into school and you have to start studying and taking tests,
but I think it was also my heart was not ready. My mind was not ready on living far away from my mother, and which our umbilical cord, I would say, it was still attached. So I tried. I stayed, I think, a couple of months through the summer, and then the beginning of school, and then I had to go back.
Yeah.
So then I went to university. I didn't feel I was gonna be a pharmacist, so I took 2 years there, and then I thought, let's give America a shot. Let's go and see what America can offer me and what my father probably would want me there, not because of work, but to have me close to him. And so I can experience of everything that I missed out, obviously, in all these years, because when you come to visit, it's different than living the daily life. And I stayed with you guys home just for a little bit. And I rented out my apartment. And I wanted to live my emotions by myself. And I was inside of Gourmet Italia for 6.5 straight years.
When she says inside of Gourmet Italia, she served there. She got to work with Alex in the family business, and the customers absolutely love her. She did very well. She thrived there. You're definitely hospitality.
I do recognize myself that thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I got
you grew a lot.
I got the right knowledge.
Yeah.
I knew what my father wanted me to be, and I tried to do whatever the best things he taught me to do. So let's hope you all enjoyed me whenever I served you. And then I did it. When I moved back to Italy, after I decided that my life was not going to be forever in America, and I got to that point when I was 31 years old, and I said, but I need to start a family, and I didn't feel in the right place because I always wanted to live in Italy and everything, so that's why I went back. But even in the middle, when I met Ivan, that obviously helped me more. Mm-hmm. And when I moved back in Sicily and we came in vacation, I did pick up a couple of shifts.
Yes, you did.
Back.
Yes.
And I remember one guest that Dad, I think, posted something on Facebook, and one guest came that night and said, I want Mimi's table. And there was this new server, which probably she said, Mimi? I heard about you, but I don't know who you are. And I said, yeah, we have Mimi's section. And they said, me and everybody was just so happy. It's my place. Like, I love Gourmet Italia, and I loved our guests, all of them. And I do chat with a lot of them as well.
So because she lived in Italy mostly, and even though, like she said, when she's there, we are a family of 5. Obviously, when she's not there, they don't see her as much. People don't know that she's there or that we have a daughter sometimes. So can you share the funniest thing that when a customer said they were trying to name drop me?
What was it? No, remind me for 1 second.
When you said, oh, you mean when they said, oh, I know Charity or whatever, because
yes.
customers
So
always
this
try to
lady
tell
that
you.
wanted to feel cool and came to the restaurant. I don't remember exactly what was the problem, but she comes to me and she says, well, I'm Charity's friend, a dear friend, something like this. And I said, oh yeah, you mean my mom? Her face completely dropped on the floor, and she didn't know how to emerge from the water. And I said, oh, because I'm Charity's and Alex's
Like
daughter.
good friend. Yeah. Well, they say they're our good friends, and if you're our good friend,
Exactly.
we have our daughter Mimi. So she was able to.
So she didn't have any idea they had a friend, a daughter. So obviously you were not a good friend.
Obviously.
But nobody knew me at the beginning of Gourmet Italia because I was bussing tables because I didn't feel comfortable with the language. So everybody, whenever I would shake a hand to a guest, because I felt they were coming into our house, like I always felt, saying, oh, they would look at me dressed in black. Oh, you're Alex's daughter. Like, why you're not managing? No, you got to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
You clean dishes and you do the thing. Otherwise, you can never teach people.
That's right. And now you are teaching people here at Donna Lucata.
I'm trying to. No, yes, I have my full staff. I do manage everything, and I try to be a sponge as much as I can when I was living in America with Dad, and try to pick up the best of his business method and everything.
Yeah.
So,
but you also got to kind of learn your own path because Dad hasn't run a resort.
No, he has not. So definitely,
So hospitality is general, but
hospitality.
You had to learn
that's what I was saying.
Unique
customer service is general.
Right.
But obviously, we are selling different type of things, and so I found my path because I'm happy on where I am, and I get jealous a lot of what people do in my place, and I do it every single time. I say it, I do it with love, so that doesn't. When you do something with love, you just do it with no sacrifice. Yes.
No, it's not it is a sacrifice, but it's not a painful sacrifice.
No, not at all.
You do what you love. So, Mimi, tell us about the resort here in Donna Lucata. Where is it located? And give us a little more elaboration so if a listener would like to come see you.
Okay, so we are located in Donna Lucata. Donna Lucata is a fraction of Sicily. Sicily is in the province of Ragusa. In Italy, we have regions and province and big cities, and Ragusa is our province. It's we have 8 rooms. It's a little boutique hotel. It's an antique, renovated. How do you say villa? Yeah, we're just 200 steps from the sea, with a beautiful pool, a sea view, all green grass, outside spaces. It's definitely a summer vacation place. And we do cooking classes. We will plan and do like pizza lessons and everything that we can do for our guests, because mostly they are foreign people. So we don't work a lot with Italians. I try to bring my experience from America here. So I like to tell them and talk about the history. So what I love about it, it's that we have just 8 rooms, so you get to shake the hand to every guest, and you get to chat with everybody, and you get to share your story. So I always tell everybody how everything came from and where does everything come from. So everybody knows every guest knows Charity. Every guest knows Dad and our story about America and what we have in Piazza Armerina, that we have 5 beautiful suites. And what we do and what we are doing with Donna Lucata, because other than rooms, from this year we'll be, how do you say, harvesting? Our first year of grapes. So in about a year, we will have our first bottled wine.
Yay!
And
We'll have Sicilian wine in Sicily, and we'll have Sicilian wine in America.
in America, correct.
So a couple things. First, what do they look up if they want to Google search this?
They can put Poggioleano. We kept the same name as we have in America because we have a brand. We own a brand. And whenever we were coming up with a name with Dad, I told him, you already created something. Why should we change it if we already have something?
Yes.
So I literally wanted Poggioleano to be named Poggioleano. So they can just look in like Hotel Donna Lucata or Hotel in Ragusa, Poggioleano. So every
How do you
keyword,
spell that?
Poggio space Leano.
There we go. Okay, you mentioned Piazza, which we do have the suites there. They're private though, so Donna Lucata
private.
is public. You can book it on Booking, Travelocity, all of those things, or directly from the website. But you can also become a wine club member, passport level, and get to come included in your passport membership. That's why that helps. I'm tapping the table. She's got the headphones on. I forgot my splitter, so I don't have headphones on. She's like, I can hear you. Anyways, Piazza
Armerina is our hometown.
Yeah, so I want you to touch on that because it's a small town.
And I heard also about the story that you didn't remember everything about the Palio, dei Normanni, and everything. See how much I listen to your podcast?
Mimi, clarify.
No, Piazza Armerina is a 14,000 people living in there. It's a very small and quiet town, beautiful, amazing. They call it the city of the 100 churches. And we do have a festival, which Charity already talked about it. Let's not get into much into the history because I might get a little bit of gaps there because I don't have the story completely clear.
I told everybody, just look it up. This is what I do when I'm not sure. I just say I'm not sure, but you can look it up.
Palio dei Normanni. But back when I was, I think, 18, Dad bought back my family house from my nonno's side. So his father's side owned this house where my grandfather, Nonno Totò, was raised. So he bought back this house and he renovated completely all. And he made these 5 beautiful suites, but they are exclusive to wine club members. And they're right in the middle of the how do you say, not the downtown, it's the historical part, like where
Old Town, we say.
the old town or the historical part.
Old.
Next to, very close to the Duomo, the cathedral.
Yeah.
And they're just beautiful. And all our guests that have been there, all of the Wine Poggioleano members, they loved it. And it's a different experience than what you get in Donna Lucata.
Right, totally
because
different.
there it's about history and very close to other cities where you can experience still more history. And in Donna Lucata is you get the relaxing part. And so I always suggest our guests to start in Piazza Armerina, explore Sicily around, and then come the last 2 nights in Donna Lucata to just relax and take a moment for you before you go back to America.
That's the perfect way to do it, for sure. But tell us a little bit more about Piazza and like what that little town means to you.
It means basically everything because I grew up there and I was never ready to leave it because it's safe, it's comfortable, it's everything is very close to everything is reachable. We know everybody, so whenever we walk inside of town, even though I don't live in anymore, we just shake hands to everybody. Hi. We know everything. That means from the gossip to who are their parents, the grandparents, everything. I do have all my close friends, and I do have all my grandparents there because I do have all my 4 grandparents, so from that side and from mom's side. So I always, during the winter, take time and go for a few weekends in a month. I do 2 weekends a month to spend some time there. and it's lovely because the Thursday there is the market, that we always suggest our guests as well, and all my friends stayed there, so they didn't move to cities because Italians don't move easily. They're very attached to the roots and where you grow. So if you have a job and you easily find a job, you keep it all your life, especially if it's in your hometown.
Yeah. But you now are living in...
I live in Syracuse.
Because
Ivan, because Ivan, for those who don't know Ivan, it's Charity and Alex, son in love, and that's it, no law, not yet. We kind of skipped that, the marriage part. We will, but we have other goals right now.
Go to Vegas like we did.
And that's what I always tell him. But you know what? The other day, not yesterday, Dad said, no, but when you marry your daughter, it's different of you marrying your son.
Mm-hmm, it is.
So, because we're not in the right moment, because we're taking care of other things, and like we have other plans, I will wear that white dress. Yeah. And I will make my father walk me down the aisle in our cathedral in Piazza Armerina, and how we all planned it and dreamed it. So yes, he will.
Please make sure it's before he's in a wheelchair, okay?
Don't worry, I'll push it. I always tell him, when I was working in Roma Italia, I said, don't worry, I'll put you in an angle on a wheelchair. I will run this. No, I will do it. No worry. I would say probably a couple of years.
She's been saying that for a while.
Because then we had Alessandro, so you take another 2 years off.
It's okay. We'll be here
so we live in
Syracuse.
Syracuse is another beautiful city, and actually it's the perfect city to live in to not have a shock from America to Piazza Armerina. So Syracuse is right in between because it's a big city, has everything. Everything is open during the year because we do have the siesta time in small towns. So everything closes from 1 o'clock to 4. So you'll find all the stores closed, example, in Piazza Armerina always.
Yeah.
And in Syracuse, the life goes on like a big city. So it was nice, and we live by the beach in a beautiful house that we remodeled with all the sacrifice. And I'm in my happy place, close to the freeway that takes me straight to Donna Lucata every morning.
Awesome. Okay, so now we know your future.
I kind of got too comfortable with this microphone.
Like this. She's going to want to do it again. It's very therapeutic. Well, and I love it because, speaking about recording, it's like, they have those books that, I don't know if you have them here, but we buy my dad, my mom books that, like, please write the stories of your childhood and document things for me. And sometimes now they have, like, where you can record it and they'll make a book out of it. But so I've had my parents, both of them, do that. And I thought, this is beautiful. I don't have to do it. We've got recordings of my whole entire life as much as I can remember. So I'm just going to have them tap into my podcast when they want to. But, the boys I don't know if they care as much. Logan listens, Luca.
No, Logan listens.
He doesn't. I don't think Luca does.
No, but Luca was talking and defending you when Dad said the whole thing, oh, you're all over the place, blah, blah. So if he was defending you, that means that he listens to you.
Possibly, but also he is around me more. So when Dad said, you're not funny, Luca's like, yeah, people think she's funny. Like, because he witnesses it,
okay.
So he lives life with me.
But more. I know Logan listens to it because we talked about it.
He does.
Last time he came to Sicily.
Yeah, and he's excited to record, and then he can't wait to hear his friends.
Okay.
His cousin's friend, best friend. So we know a little bit about your plans to get married. Do you have any other future plans or goals, or what do you...
Not at the moment, because I think right now I'm in the right place of my life. Like, I'm happy because my family is what I wanted and how I wanted it. Carlo and Alessandro are just two amazing boys. One got a little bit the temper of his grandfather Alex and his mother Mirella or Mimi. So we're learning how to manage that. And then Alessandro is just smiling every single time he opens his eyes in the morning and closes them at night. Ivan calms me down, and it's the right perfect person. Exactly. Yeah. So
you bring out the best in each other, I think. When I met Ivan, I was like, oh my gosh, he's perfect for her, because sometimes can be a little too calm, but he's calm in the way that is balancing.
But
So
I'm a tornado. How do you say?
Like,
Yes.
no, but you've changed because I see the balance. It's like you're on a scale. So, yeah, so we're talking, to be very specific here, Carlo has the temper of Mimi and Alex and the Presti-Filippo side of the family. Not Nonna, but
No,
Nonno.
just Presti Filippo.
Yeah,
Because Nonna is parlato. That's another
true.
last name.
Yeah, you do different. But yeah, so they have a short fuse and not a lot of, they have patience for some things, but not a lot of things.
No, we lose it easily.
Yeah,
Let's say that. And
exactly.
Carlo is the same. He loses it easily, but then he's just the sweetest.
But yeah, so are you, and so can Dad. Like, you all have that. I always say, like, when you were younger, like when I would see you. So I didn't see children act out like on their parents normally. Like in our realm, in Italy, that was an eye-opener for me. All these kids that were like throwing temper tantrums and screaming at their parents, and it's something you see it. It's not that it doesn't exist. It's just in our world, when I was growing up, it wasn't in my world. So I would be like, oh my gosh. And then as you got older, when you get mad, you don't hesitate. And Dad, I think you're the only one that Dad's actually afraid of in life. I always say.
Because
he doesn't
we're
want to
just
make
too
you mad.
similar. Exactly. We're just too similar that we love each other and we're like, perfect, great idea, let's go. Or most of the time it's like,
You button heads, because
you get me so mad. So we always are fighting with love.
Yeah, well, you both are very passionate, as we say. And, but they have, like, Mimi's so sweet, and you can hear, she's just such a sweetheart that when she would act like that, it would almost be like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, who is that girl? I didn't know that girl. And then the sweet girl would come back. But always sweet to me. She never acted out on me.
Never.
Only on her, really only on your parents.
No, only on my dad, most of it.
Yeah, but she
look at who's
definitely...
here, look who's here. Oh. We're talking.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing something that makes sense.
We have a creeper looking through the window, and it happens to be Dad. So anyway, so Ivan is very mellow, and it looks like Alessandro took after him a lot.
He's not mellow. He thinks. I overreact on things, and he thinks. He always tells me, there is a solution.
He's mellow.
Mellow.
Yes, he's very mellow.
He said,
he'll never die of a heart attack, I'll tell you that.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. I always tell him.
It's
and you have to have a man like this to have a woman like me.
Well, it's beautiful that you found each other.
He always tells me, why are you overreacting? There is a solution on everything. Yeah. If you don't find the right at the moment, they will come to you, you will get it. That's his view, that's his point of view. And some things I'm trying to learn from him, and he's teaching me good.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you manage your own business and you're taking care of your own things, like they're yours, you can overreact, or you can try to put a barrier that doesn't affect you personally, but makes you like, get the right decision. And he's helping me a lot with that. A lot.
Yeah. I always say that. I always say, don't handle, like, Dad's very emotional. I mean, I can't correct him because he's been doing it for 25 years and he's got success. But I always am like, he gets very personal about everything. Yes. And it's just business. And there's times he handles it like just business, but there's other times he gets very, like, he takes things very personal and gets emotional about it. And I see Angela, his assistant, if you don't know, she's learns from him. And so sometimes I'm like, let's not take it personally. Let's just handle it black and white and call.
Oh, I remember the first years working at Gourmet Italia. It was most of the times I would go home and cry because something went wrong. And I took it so personal that it was just the worst night of my life. But then I decided to say, listen.
Yeah.
I can learn, I can do better, I can react in a different way, I can start, and even help me a lot with that. And so,
but when it's a small entity, you're a family here, right?
Yes.
So it's very easy to take things personally, and that's how it was when Dad started Gourmet Italia. It was the same people working, so then it becomes personal. And I'm not saying I get hurt and offended by mean customers. That I take personally, for sure.
I had one guest at one time throw me a mussel in my face. So.
Oh, yeah. So that's personal.
Yes, that was very personal.
Yeah, they could get their butt out of our restaurant.
And I think I got stronger after that thing.
Well, I do say that when you work with the public, you get thicker skin. You start, like, I definitely used to take things way more personally than I do now. But I could never do what Dad does every day with customers all day, every day. It's a lot. It definitely takes thick skin, and he's got it. And then employees, you take them under your wing, you train them, you spend all this time, and then they don't show up, or you find out they're taking wine, it is personal. But I learned my work through corporate. Mm-hmm. So it was policy procedure.
It was different.
So that's kind of what I bring to the table, and that's how I have, I perceive things like, well, they're told not to do it, they get a verbal, then they get a write-up, and then it's this. And then you're done. Where, there's pros and cons to both ways.
Correct.
Because when you have a personal relationship with your employees, a lot of times they care more about the business than just going and clocking in and out. But then it does put you in a situation where you get offended if they don't treat it like theirs. So anyways.
So going back on dreams and everything. Right now, I think between my family, that to me, us today, it's perfect. I cannot complain. I have everything I wanted. And then Dad gave me this, and you all gave me this big dream that came true with opening Donna Lucata. So providing me a job and a position that obviously brings the best out of me and makes me feel comfortable in what I do and happy in what I do. I do not have that many goals right at the moment. I'm happy that we will be doing the wine, so I'm super excited with eventually opening the a wine tasting room here, so we can not be open seasonally April through October, so spring, summer, and autumn. But that would be lovely to be 12 months a year open and wine tasting. So bring a little bit of that Temecula that I learned and I experienced between all the wineries and everything. It would be so nice to have it here, which everything that they offer is obviously different in a different way. So we always like to combine Sicily and America and
I think that's
get the best out of it.
I think that's what's the most beautiful thing about this, how it worked out, because obviously when we first bought it, it was going to be a beach house for us. But
correct, our house for the beach.
But then it turned into a resort. But what I love about it is that you're not working a job, a career that's not attached. Like, this attaches you to us, like us to you and you to us, all year round, because you're constantly working together and in touch with Dad.
I work with Angela, I work with Megan.
Yeah.
I work with Dad constantly.
And all the wine club members, when they come here, they get excited that they see you and they know our daughter and the grandkids, and they're always asking. So it really does complete the circle for all of us, because we are very personal. Our whole family, we like that touch, that personal touch, the contact, the relationships. And that's what I love about you having this here, and that it worked out. I was a little concerned, I'm not going to lie, about you and Dad working together.
But we're working far away from each other, so...
Yeah, so you get breaks. But it's actually worked out way better than I thought.
The maximum that could happen, we can just hang up the phone, take a deep breath, and call each other back in about an hour and a half, after.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think we covered everything for now. It won't be the last time you hear from Mimi. I'll be back in August, and I'll bring my podcast stuff, and I'll bring the splitter so I can have my headphones. Yeah, I think that we've answered a lot of maybe questions and got to know Mimi. So now you know our daughter, and so blessed to be a bonus mom and grandma. Thank you.
And so blessed to have you in my life.
Thank you. But that's not all. We're going to be back next week with Luca, number 2. The King. We'll be back with the King next week. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and if you'd like to see pictures of Mimi, go on Bumper Shoot Charity on Instagram, and you can find us there. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mimi. Bye.